Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild. Today we're looking at Villages of Valeria. This is published by Daily Magic Games and is a 1 to 5 player game. In Villages of Valeria, you're trying to build the best city, and you're trying to do it faster than your opponents and get the most points or prestige from building that set city. Let's go ahead down the table here and I'll give you a general idea how the game plays, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, so this is Village of Valeria. In Village of Valeria, you're trying to get the most points. You get the points from getting these purple numbers on the top of the cards here. Person with the most points at the end of the game wins, and if there's a tie, the person with the most buildings. Now, what you're going to do throughout the game is you're going to try to get these heroes, and you're going to try to build these buildings. Once a set number of buildings has been hit, the game ends immediately. So when a player, let's say you have 10 buildings or 12 buildings, you have to hit once a person hits that number, the game will end on that player's turn. And there is a chart on the back of the book that will show it. So if you are playing with a, let's say 5 player, you go to 10 buildings. If you're playing with 3 or 2, you get 12 buildings. Now, additionally, there'll be a limit in the number of gold that is out as a resource. These are a limited resource. Once the gold's out, it's gone. It can come back and forth from a couple different ways, but in general, you're going to want to watch that. And this will show how much there is, so you will set that based on your player count, and then you'll give each player 3 gold and 6 cards. At the very start of the game, and only at the start of the game, players are going to look through their hands and pick a card. What that's going to do is, if you look at your city, this is you can pay a good to make any resource. Well, everyone's going to have that city in their color to do that. These, if you flip them upside down, will have resources they can make. So you can take a look at them and see what resource you want to make based on your cards. Let's say I want to do this one, and I would slip it under there. This is the only time ever that it is free. What you're going to be doing throughout the game is you're going to be taking one action on your turn and then passing along. So the actions you can take is so you can select harvest. And the reason why you're doing this is so everyone can see what you could do, what you're doing, so they can follow. Harvest is draw 3 cards. Now you can draw from this anywhere along this deck and here, and or here. If you draw a card here and it's the last one, you're going to immediately replenish it. Your opponents all get to draw 1 card if you pick that. Now, if you get over 8 cards and you have to discard a card, you're actually going to discard cards on top of one of those cards in the stack there. You don't discard. There's no discard pile. That's how that works. The next action you can do is develop, and that is the one I was talking about earlier. The way this one's going to work is it's no longer free, so I can pick a card to discard. So let's say I discard this card, and then I can slip one under there, and now I can make more stuff. Every other player has to discard 2 cards to put one under. The next thing I can do is build, and when I'm building, I'm looking at what the resource costs are over here, and how many coins I have. So right now I only have 3 coins. So I can pay for this by placing one there, and now I have the wood and I can place this. If these were covered and I didn't have any, I could actually put this on an open slot on an opponent if they have that resource and still build the building. Downfall to that is on the beginning of your turn, you slide these coins off and they get to keep those coins. So they'll have coins to build better stuff. Now, if you're the person building, you draw a card also. If everyone else follows, they just get to build a building, which is still really, really nice. The other thing you can do is recruit. And I'm going to put another one down here. Let's see if to match. Okay. So when you're recruiting, you're taking a look at the symbols on the left. You have to have the buildings with these symbols in order to recruit the rogue. So I can recruit the rogue here because I have 2 symbols of these buildings. Now these count towards your total number of things that you've built during the game. So once you hit that, so I say I'm aiming for 12 because we're playing a, I believe, 2-player game. Then I need to count that in with them. And once this is picked up, another one flips over. That actually cost me 1 gold to pick up, and that goes to the supply to pick up a hero or recruit one. Every other player, if they want to follow, costs them 2 gold. Now, Couple things we'll get into now before we get into the last action. Well, we'll just do the last action and I'll explain these cards. The last action here you can take is recruit. In recruit, you simply get a gold from the supply if there is one, and you can draw a card. Now other players just get to draw a card. All right, so the final thing that's neat about this game is going to be these buildings. So these buildings have a couple different effects that can happen. If it has a lightning bolt, this happens now. Rogue steals, so you get to steal 2 cards from a player. This one here at the end of the game, I get 1 point per one of these type of buildings, which is really important because otherwise I'm only getting these points. Other types happen during action. So when we develop, so if anyone picks develop and I want to follow, I will get this too. Those are the 3 main types. You're going to have a lightning bolt, you're going to have an end game scoring, or you're going to have something that's going to help in one of the actions. Like I said, gameplay will continue until someone builds their final building. The game will end, and then everyone will just add up their points from this or any of these. Person with the most points wins. Tie is the most buildings. So let's go back up to the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on Villages of Valeria. Villages of Valeria is a really, really solid card game. This is a very nice mechanical game that is pretty easy to explain and really easy to get into. I really like how the economy works, where you have a limited number of gold that goes pretty quickly, and how you have to make decisions on your turn if you want to use your gold on other people's player mats or tableaus, so that you can build your building, but you're giving them gold. And when you want to start picking up those heroes, because those heroes give cool abilities, some of them are worth lots of points. It's a lot of balancing in this game. Do you want to try to get those easy buildings built first, so you're going to eat the end game goal really quick, but you're not going to have a ton of points, so you have to do it very fast? Or do you want to just focus on the big buildings and the big heroes and get the big points, so that maybe even though you didn't finish all of your buildings and heroes, you still got more points? So a lot of fun, a lot of replayability. The art on the game is really nice. I love the art on this game. Component quality is good, and it's a small box game, so you can take this to conventions or game nights and bring it out. It doesn't take very long to play, so just really, really good in all those areas. So if you're looking for a neat sort of like tableau builder where you can build a cool engine off of and have a nice little ramp up at the end of the game, I highly recommend checking out Villages of Valeria. Thank you for watching.